Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Sunday night stream, the knee-jerk stream we call it, because that's usually what's happening on a Sunday. Everyone's knee-jerking, they're getting rid of this player, that player, this player, that player. Awful weeks, great weeks. So for anyone that's new around here, I do this every single Sunday, hopefully at 8 o'clock. That's what we're doing it now. It might end up going back to 9 o'clock, but we'll see. For now, it's going to be an 8 o'clock stream every single Sunday. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well. I actually checked in at like 7:30 to set some stuff up. And I saw there was already like 55 likes before the stream had even started. So thanks very much for that. How do you see it? Calvert-Lewin haters. Of course we're going to talk about Calvert-Lewin. Why wouldn't he? The guy's a legend. I do find it funny though, right? Everyone, like, would, if he hadn't scored today, I would get so much stick. As soon as he gets one goal, it's like, yeah, Andy's going to be so smug about him now. Every time that happens, every single time. I'm happy about it. Like, anyone that tells me I'm muted when I'm not muted is getting blocked. I'll tell you that now. Everyone who tells me I'm muted is getting blocked. It's super annoying. 8 PM, yes. How is it going? So annoyed you at Mane over Salah. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Salah and Mane. I mean, ultimately, one open play goal difference. But you got penalties, right? It happens sometimes. I mean, look at Jamie Vardy. 0 shots. 0 from Jamie Vardy. He's still got 2 bloody goals. Absolutely ridiculous. Yes, hit subscribe if you haven't already, as they're saying in the chat. We're on 97,500. 100,000 is so close, I can smell it now. It smells good. We'll get there eventually. So yeah, basically what's going to happen is I'm going to show you my team, talk through that quick. We'll go through your questions. I'm going to tell you that there's going to be structure to these streams this year, and then ultimately there'll be no structure. We'll start talking about thingy. Anything. Club bars, probably. Alright, let's bring the team up. And we'll go through some of your questions. So, it's an okay week, I guess, so far. I mean, 50 points. I mean, I'm not going to be winning FPL in the first game week anyway. But 50 points with 4 players left. I've still got Werner, Pulisic, hopefully. That last minute Son to Pulisic switch. Not looking so bad now, with Son blanking. But there's obviously no guarantee that Pulisic even starts, so I'm not too bothered about that. And then Vinagre and Saiss, I ended up going with a double Wolves defence. I didn't go for Justin in the end. I benched Mitchell. At one point I was playing Mitchell so I could bench Shaw and Charlie Taylor. But look, it is what it is, whatever. Hopefully I get double Wolves clean sheet. And if one of those two doesn't play, I'm probably actually going to make a defensive transfer in game week 2, potentially. Because if one of those gets benched for Marcel, that I can keep the other one, but they're playing Man City, so I might just swap the other one out for someone like Eiling at Leeds. So I was quite impressed with them, despite them conceding 4 goals. Thought Annie would be on much more. I mean, I didn't captain Salah at the end of the day. If I captain Salah on 6, I've still got 4 players to play, though. So I'm pretty happy. Everton were good, Spurs were rubbish, absolutely. I've got 0.5 in the bank as well. So I'm fairly happy. I mean, obviously Trent conceding 3 wasn't what we were hoping for. Blank for Adams. Well, Adams came very close to scoring. How Guaita saved that, I don't know. I mean, I guess it was pretty close to him, but still, it was a good save. McCarthy conceded. I'm not expecting too many clean sheets from Southampton, but obviously 4.5 million goalkeepers, whatever. Not having Justin will pay off was awful today. Lucky assist. Still a transfer waiting to happen. Yeah, probably at some point. Especially the fact that he was playing left back. That Castagna guy as well, very attacking. Obviously got his goal today. He'll be an interesting one to watch, especially if they go to wing backs at some point. But maybe the fact that he played right back actually worries me a little bit, because I now wonder if they're looking for a left back, and when Ricardo comes back, he's going to obviously go back to the right back spot, unless they're maybe going to sell him. I don't know. 2 pens in a corner. Leeds were unlucky. I think ultimately, which is a weird thing to say, I've seen some people talking about on Twitter as well. It was 4-3. But both defences were actually probably not as bad as that scoreline looks. In terms of the XG, you can see it. Like, of course, you know, Salah getting 2 penalties is a bit lucky. But, I mean, it was an awful foul from Rodrigo. The handball was very unlucky, I think. But, yeah, we'll go through the questions about the knee-jerking. I mean, I don't think you can do a blanket, don't panic too much. But you shouldn't be panicking too much, right? There isn't... I'm sure there's some stuff I'm forgetting, but there's not a huge amount that happened this weekend that we didn't kind of already know. It's just one week. Like, you can't now suddenly panic about Salah because he scored a hat-trick at home to a newly promoted side. Like, There's always a chance of that happening at some point during the season. It just happened to happen in Game Week 1. Obviously, he has Chelsea and Arsenal next. That's going to be a little bit tougher. But, I mean, so far, one thing I will say, I'm not sure anything that happened post-lockdown has actually come through. Calvert-Lewin scored. Leicester did okay, although it was West Brom. What was the other thing? There was something else as well that everyone kept going on. Salah, out of form. I mean, crazy. I can't remember what the other thing was. Something else post-lockdown. Spurs looking good, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, I think it just goes to show you can't necessarily take everything from like an 8 or 9 game week sample size. Guess who switched out Salah for Mane? I'm guessing you. I still like... I don't think I've really changed... I'm not knee-jerking too much, to be honest. Like, Salah versus Mane for me, it was always going to be Salah. At the same price, it was just crazy to not go for the guy with penalties, who also has much better stats as well. Like, across the board. There's nothing Mane's really better in at all. We know it doesn't always work out like that, but I don't think Mane's ever outscored Salah in a whole season, right? So, like, basically, it's like I said pre-season. Salah should have been 12.5. That would have been different. Palace defence is awesome. Yeah, there you go. Good point. Southampton not performing. I will say, not performing, but Adam's very close. Ings very close. It was a good performance in Guaita, so not completely, like, turned off by Southampton. The Mitrovic thing, so unlucky, by the way. I think it's probably just a keep. I think it's just a keep. Will you do a stream after tomorrow's game? No, basically, in the past, I've held the stream until the whole game week's over. So sometimes I'll wait till Monday. But this season, I'm just unless like it's a weird game week where there's like a midweek fixture or something. I'm just gonna do the stream on Sunday, even if there's games on Monday. Because ultimately, I'm still going to do like a watch this video, a team selection, a game week preview. So if anything big happens in that Monday game, I'm still going to cover it. And I'll always stream on Thursday and then deadline as well. So something big can happen in tomorrow's games, and it will be discussed on this channel throughout the week. So I don't think there's a huge issue with doing the streams on Sunday every single week. So that's my plan basically for now. As always, might not always happen, but we'll see. Have Spurs got problems? I wouldn't write Spurs off just yet. They weren't very good. But what I will say is Everton were very good, I thought. They really controlled midfield. Like at one point in the second half. Now, Jose Mourinho made some weird transfers. I don't really get the idea of bringing off Ali, to be honest. I don't think he was that bad. But whatever. Jose's the one that gets paid the big bucks, not me. But there was times in the second half where it looked like Spurs did not have a central midfield. It was ridiculous. And we kind of said that the new signings for Everton, if they gelled quickly, that would be a big plus. And it was huge. Decore looked like he'd been there for ages. James Rodriguez was brilliant. And Allen, I mean, they were all, basically those three were all really important in their own ways. Like Allen just being there, taking balls off the defenders, winning the ball back in central midfield. Gomez did all right as well. But James Rodriguez, I think I saw a stat, I retweeted it. 5 chances created from open play today. That is more than Everton's entire team, I think that it was said, in the last 20 games. So that's how good he's going to be. Rodriguez's shooting was a bit off, but he pinged some lovely balls. Yeah, he's going to create so many chances. Like, honestly, today, I know if he hadn't scored, people would have given me stick about Calvert-Lewin. But today was like, if he can get some points, that's a bonus. It's West Brom, Crystal Palace and Brighton that the real test starts. So I'm quite happy with it. It didn't have a great deal of shots, to be honest. But this is where watching the games and checking stats work hand in hand, because he only had 2 shots, I think, including obviously the goal. But there was that chance in the first half where Richarlison took it around the keeper, and if he just had a bit more composure, I mean, if he had a bit more composure, he could have still probably scored himself. But if he'd stopped and taken a touch, he had to pass it back to Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin basically had pretty much an open goal to shoot at, just blast it past the defender. I think it was Davern who was on the line, and he would have had a second goal. So that's the kind of thing stats don't always tell you. So yeah, I'm happy with him. And one of the nice things about him is people are going to find it hard to get him because he's 7 million. Everyone's got 6 and 6.5 million strikers, and now Calvert-Lewin's sitting there with James Rodriguez behind him. So yeah, it's decent. Let's talk about Dele Alli, because a lot of people are going to be. Let's have a look. I saw a stat about James Rodriguez that from 2014 to 15, to the 2018-19 season, he created the most amount of chances in the entire league that he was playing. That's pretty impressive. Let's see if he can beat Kevin De Bruyne. That is a tough thing to do. So yeah, I think for Spurs, I think Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison's probably going to be an okay pick at some point, but the fact he's $1 million more than Calvert-Lewin would put me off, like it did to start with. I think James Rodriguez is a good option too. One thing that was interesting though, James Rodriguez didn't take all set pieces. Digne still kept a lot of them. I like him. If I had $6 million this week and I needed to make a defensive transfer, that is who I would bring in, I think. And that's not a complete knee-jerk, because I did consider it before Game Week 1. Seriously considered it. Instead of having St. Maximin, I considered having Lucas Digne, or instead of having Adams as well. So, yeah, I quite like that move. Richarlison's finishing was poor. Yeah, but he's still a good player. Like he's gonna get plenty of goals this season. We'll see. Has taught me into Digne and Wilson on black bots for the next day transfer. Now, yeah, it happens. Like, you know, I remember, I think I said on the live stream, on the deadline stream about Justin, how he's probably a short-term pick, but, you know, good fixtures. And he's probably going to be in until October, which was game week 4, and he was probably going to be okay as a short-term pick. But I didn't go for him myself. It just happens sometimes. But I think, yeah, Lucas Digne, James Rodriguez and Calvert-Lewin. I'm not saying go and triple up necessarily on Everton, but they're the 3 players that I think are worth looking at investment. With Spurs, I mean, people are going to have Dele Alli taken off at half-time tactically. That is a frustration. I guess easy, if you want to sell him, whether or not you should, I don't know. I'd maybe give him one more game and see. But if you want to sell him, James Rodriguez, you say 0.5, or even Mason Greenwood. The only thing there is, this Sancho transfer is not going away. And it basically sounds like the thing that keeps coming out of the Sancho transfer is once Man United stump up the 120 million they want, they'll get him. And obviously Man United are trying to not pay that. But ultimately I think they probably will, because they've spent so much time on it. So I think what is it, Greenwood's going to be short-term thing. So I'd probably look at James Rodriguez if you want someone around 8 million. Or if you've got 0.5 in the bank, wait until the Chelsea game tomorrow, have a look at Havertz and Pulisic, because they could be very good value. Ings or Calvert-Lewin? I mean, right now I prefer Calvert-Lewin plus 1.5 million. But if you've got Ings, don't write him off because of one game. Right? Don't write him off. But Spurs, yeah, sorry. So Dele Alli, yeah, could go. The fact that he got brought off at halftime is frustrating. If I had him, I probably would be looking to get rid. But you could wait for another game and see how he goes. He was making some good runs in the box. He had a shot in the box at one point, but he absolutely skied it. Really, Son should have passed it to Kane. Kane, hardly involved at all. 10.5 million now looks very expensive. Yeah, not really liking Kane at all, to be honest. And Son I thought was okay at the start, I thought Coleman was going to have a really tough day, but I don't know, Spurs were just rubbish. But they were also rubbish because Everton were very good. So I think it'd be foolish thinking to think Spurs are just gone as an option. Because they're playing Southampton next, and Kyle Walker-Peters did not have the greatest game against Palace, and Son's going to be up against him now. So I don't think you necessarily need to rush to get rid of him necessarily. Wait, what? My son is trying a strategy of only choosing players with theological relevance. Even though it's game week 1, I can say that it does not appear a good approach. I don't even know what that means, to be honest. So, was Mitrovic unfit? Well, he came on, so I imagine he'll start the next game week. I haven't heard anything about it though, but I'm assuming he's going to start the next game week. Swap Salah for Kevin De Bruyne the next game week. Yeah, look, a lot of people said they were going to sell Salah for Bruno Fernandes. The thing is, like, I've seen people that are saying Salah can't keep that up. He got 2 penalties, and they're bringing in Bruno Fernandes. It's exactly the same thing. If he doesn't get 2 penalties, is he going to be worth 10.5 million? I don't necessarily think he will, but let's see. But I think you cannot go from Salah because of penalties to Bruno, who also is kind of propped up by penalties. I think there is a little bit of nuance in the whole penalty discussion. So players like Salah, Vardy, they're good anyway, right? They post good numbers, and the fact they have penalties is great. With Bruno Fernandes, there's nothing to say he won't keep up his point scoring. But his underlying stats were not as good as the couple of players that I've just chosen. And his points will be propped up a little bit more by the penalties. If we get another 14, he's going to be amazing. But the one thing that confuses me about the whole situation is if you've got Salah and you're selling to Bruno, if you've got Aubameyang, what is the need? You just captain Aubameyang against West Ham. Aubameyang's being sold, which is just ridiculous, by the way. But you just captain Aubameyang against West Ham and just leave Man United, I think. If it's not for captaincy reasons, then fair enough. You can just get him in anyway. But I think it's really weird to be doing Salah to Bruno, to captain them, to then not captain Aubameyang. I don't get that. But that's just me. Ali to Willian. Yeah, a lot of stick because I said don't get Willian. I guess everyone was predicting him to do well, but was heavily involved. Very easy fixture for Arsenal, though. Don't forget that. They do have another good one against West Ham, but then it's Liverpool, and then it's Sheffield United, then it's really horrible for them. So, personally, I wouldn't be looking at Willian still, but he pretty much got every set piece. He's not going to get penalties because Aubameyang's on them. But yeah, he was heavily involved. I have to say, fair play to him. Theology is the study of religion. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Not something for me to be talking about. What's your move with Bruno and Rashford? Just don't get them. I'm not getting them. I know what's going to happen. They're going to score really well against Crystal Palace. But, you didn't get Man United players. But how do I get them in? I'm not selling the Salah. I'm not selling the Aubameyang this week. We haven't even seen Pulisic and Werner play yet. Like, if Werner was really bad or if Werner got injured, then maybe I'd get Martial in. But ultimately, I'm just not getting Man United players right now. That doesn't mean never. But right now, I have no plans to get them in. Like, I'm going to captain Aubameyang this week. And then in game week 3, I'm going to captain Salah against Arsenal. Or maybe Werner, depending on how I think they look. Because they're away to West Brom, I think. Or Werner or Pulisic. If Pulisic's playing well, he may well be my captain as well. So my move with Bruno and Rashford is to just not have them. Yash, thanks very much. Digne in for Doherty. I wouldn't. I just. That's such a luxury transfer to make. Yeah, Everton have really good fixtures. I think Digne is a good pick, but I don't know if I would transfer Doherty out. He nearly scored today, by the way. Very close. He was quite attacking. He was in the box a bit more than I expected him to be. Yeah. Predicting, so I probably wouldn't do it, but if you really want to get rid of him, then Digne is a great option. Predicting exactly when people get penalties isn't easy. We generally know which teams will get a decent amount. Some people ignore the second part. Yeah, of course, but it's not an exact science to how many a team will get. Like Liverpool only got 5 last year compared to Man United's 14, and it's not like Liverpool don't have quick players that can draw fouls. Like, so do you think there's that big a discrepancy when Man United get 14 and Liverpool only get 5? Okay, I know the whole Man United referees thing, but that's a huge difference, right? So, and again, I'm not really trying to sit here to say that Bruno is a bad pick and that he's not going to score any points, because he did. The stats didn't show it, but obviously watching it, he did look like he changed the game for Man United, and he is going to get forward. But with Van der Beek there, how are they going to play? I don't know. So for me, I'm just not getting him right now. That doesn't mean never. Doesn't mean never. Drew, thanks very much. Hang on. Drew, yeah. Captain Martial, you also have Aubameyang. Personally, I prefer Aubameyang this week. Let's not forget, Crystal Palace just kept a clean sheet against Southampton. Again, Southampton did go very close. But West Ham are awful. West Ham are one of the teams right now, unless something changes, I'd be targeting. Plus, Aubameyang's in midfield, extra points for goals, clean sheets and stuff. I personally think Aubameyang's the better pick. Alfred, should we jump on the Calvert-Lewin bandwagon? Of course you should. But it depends who you're taking out, right? Chances are you've got a player that you thought would be good for the next couple of weeks. So I don't think you necessarily have to take him out. Get him in, sorry. But I do think, obviously I think he's a great option. But yeah, it depends really. Bamford on... Yeah, we should talk about Leeds, by the way, in a sec. Thomas, can see Palace frustrating United. I'm holding Salah 2 free transfers in game week 3. Looks great. Agreed. Bearing in mind, if you hold a free transfer this week, a lot of people are doing Aubameyang to De Bruyne, forgetting they've actually got another transfer. You could roll it, but I might do something with it. Because once... For instance, in my team, once I do Aubameyang to De Bruyne, as long as he hasn't gone up in price, I'm going to have 0.5 in the bank, plus the other 0.5, so I've got 1 million. So maybe I could get Digne in then. In game week 3, or Doherty, or Chilwell, whoever it is. We'll see. Van der Beek isn't even starting, but you don't know that for sure. I'm holding Salah 2 free transfers in game week 3. Looks great. Sterling or Wolves midfielder or defender. Hoping Neto or Podence. Pele. Yeah, Neto or Podence could be good. Let's see in the first 2 game weeks. I think we probably need to see Wolves to see how they set up. I think Neto or Polish, you're just never going to know 100% if they're going to start each week. It's my only worry. But I've got double Wolves defence still to come, so I'm really hoping to get a clean sheet against Sheffield United, but I don't know how much hope I'm holding out on that. Yeah, I think Leeds, very good. The amount of times like Bamford got into a good position, I was impressed, to be honest. Not the greatest finisher by the looks of it. But I thought Leeds were decent value. And I got to be honest, if Vinagre or Saiss missed out because Marçal played, I would really strongly look at getting Ayling in to play him against Fulham. I think Leeds have got Fulham. It's a bit of a knee-jerk, so I've only seen them play once against Liverpool. But Fulham, Sheffield United and Wolves in the next 4, and Villa in Game Week 6. I think in the next 5 fixtures they could get 2, maybe 3 clean sheets. And Ayling was pretty attacking as well. So I think if you've already got him in your squad, I'd be quite happy about that, I think. Talk about De Bruyne. What do you need to know about De Bruyne? Is there much to talk about? They're playing Wolves away. I don't think it's a great fixture. I wouldn't be bringing in Man City players this week. Kevin De Bruyne is one of the best players in the league. What do you need me to talk about with him? Will Werner get game time? Absolutely. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. Dallas over Ayling? Yeah, maybe. But Ayling's absolutely nailed on. You're right, though. It doesn't look like Dallas is going to miss out too often. But you don't have those worries with Ayling. Disadvantages of using wildcard after Game Week 1. Well, the biggest disadvantage is you've lost your wildcard. Cheers, by the way, Rowan. And it could be hard later on to navigate it. I can't imagine that most people who've thought about their team for Game Week 1, like, and watched these kind of videos and streams, have got that bad a team and need to wildcard. Wolves are going to get thumped by United's attacking lineup with the 2 Ollies. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Harvey Barnes looked very good. I've not caught the Leicester highlights yet. I've seen most of the other highlights and or watched the games, but not seen the Leicester one. But I did hear he was doing all right. Yeah, I agree with Rick. You've got to have a little bit of faith in your team, or at least try and have a little bit of faith. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not just like anyone else. Like, I've knee-jerked a little bit. I'm thinking, I did think about Lucas Digne, like, genuinely thought about him. Could I maybe get... I've even thought about, like, the hits have come into my mind a tiny bit. I'm like, don't do it. That's just absolutely crazy. If we saw, like, Chilwell come off the bench and I thought, wow, he's going to be playing the next game, then maybe I would do a defensive transfer, but probably not for Liverpool, though. But ultimately, yeah, your team can't be in that bad a state. You've got to try and like look past everyone posting like 70, 80, 90 plus scores. Like anywhere in the top 3 million is probably okay for the first game week. Do you know what I mean? One thing I haven't done all weekend is checked my rank. I did and ah about whether I even put it on the screen because I just don't want to be bothered by it for the first few weeks. It can just be all over the place. I haven't been checking my rank as I go, which I usually do. So yeah, I really wouldn't worry about it right now. I mean, I know it's called the knee-jerk stream, but some of it is to stop people knee-jerking. Just chillax. Justin with 9 points was great, yeah. Fair play to Justin. Was it 9 points though? Got a yellow card, didn't he? Oh, we got bonus point, I guess. Top 50k is amazing, but the game week's not even over yet. Like a lot of people have only got like 1, maybe 2 players tomorrow. I've still got 4 to come. So if Wolves got a clean sheet straight away, that's huge, especially if they both play. And then 2 attackers against Brighton. Yeah, we'll have to see. What do I think of St. Maximin? He played really well, but he's not the type of player who get a lot of points. I think ultimately, I just don't see any 5.5s getting that many points. Don't get me wrong, Harrison for Leeds took his goal really well. Click obviously scored as well, and he's on penalties. But yeah, I just don't see him scoring many points, so you're going to have to let him tick over. The one thing I would say about St. Maximin is we haven't seen Newcastle line up with Fraser in the side. So if Fraser starts, I'd assume that Andy Carroll will come out. Sorry, Jez. For any patrons, sorry, Jez, but Andy Carroll's getting out of that team sooner rather than later, I hope. Wilson up front, Fraser left. Whoever on the right, Hendrick maybe, or it could be Almiron, and maybe St. Maximin through the middle, and then let's see what happens. Or let's see if St. Maximin plays wide again, but he has a bit more space because they've also got to worry about Fraser. There's all this stuff to think about. So I got to be honest, I'm not interested in that 5.5 spot at all. Eventually, I might move it to a 4 into defence, basically, and go 4 at the back. But I don't think there's a need to knee-jerk St. Maximin. I'll actually put my team up for next week. So I think he's got Brighton at home, right? By the way, I've got Steer in goal because I was hoping that Martinez wouldn't sign for another week, but it looks like he's signed. So I was going to play Steer against Sheffield United because he's probably going to be the number one without Martinez being there. But probably going to have to end up playing McCarthy, unfortunately. What do I think about Hendrick at 5 million? I think he's not going to get too many goals and assists this year. Should you remove Spurs players based on today's performances? I probably wouldn't. Dele Alli would be a key concern, but Doherty, Son, or Kane, I'd probably just keep him for one more week and then reassess. Like, one game week is not really enough data, you know? Never really understood the hype around Setmat. I think hype's the wrong word. It's just 5.5 million trying to pick the best of a really bad bunch. And that was it, really. I kind of wish I stayed strong and gone with 4 at the back. But again, it's only 1 week. He plays Brighton at home next. And who knows, once, like I said, once Fraser and that come in, maybe it'll be decent again. You just don't know yet. Mitrovic keep or swap for Calvert-Lewin. I mean, I guess if you had the money to do Mitrovic to Calvert-Lewin, I think that's a good move. But if you have to start taking hits to do it, I'd maybe wait. Hendrick is a knee-jerk if I've ever seen it. Absolutely. Thoughts on Jamal Lewis at 4.5. I thought he looked really good. I was really impressed, to be honest. And I think if you can use him as part of a rotation, then perfect. I don't think I'd want him. I don't think I would want him all the time, but to play all the time. But I think as a rotation, yeah, he looked good. Just remember though, for anything, any player we're saying they looked good or they're now bad options, it's one game, right? Newcastle. One of the reasons Newcastle looked good is not just because they had some new players. It's also because they were playing West Ham. Right, I think teams like Newcastle, West Ham, Crystal Palace, maybe before today, Fulham, West Brom, they were all teams I would target anyway. So Newcastle did look good. I was quite impressed by Wilson, for example, but they were playing West Ham. So next week they're playing Brighton. Maybe that'll be a little bit tougher, probably not. But you've got to keep these things in mind. You've gone off one 90-minute game. Like Zaha, thoughts on Zaha? I thought he looked quite good. But how many times does Zaha look good and then just not perform? Zaha's one of those players I would never knee-jerk in. Someone just asked in the chat, what does knee-jerk mean? It basically means making a knee-jerk decision. So, I bought in this player, they didn't score, now I want to get rid of him. Basically, it happens a lot. It's a very big term in FPL. Aubameyang is good, correct. Man United will get penalties against Crystal Palace, but how do you know that? You can't know that 100%. If they do, then yeah, Bruno Fernandes could be a great option. Again, not saying he's bad, but 10.5, like Pulisic for 2 million less, could he get close to Fernandes' score this year? Maybe. It'll be tough, but could it happen? We'll have to wait and see. Suraj, thanks very much. You got Mitrovic, Che Adams and Tima as my front three with 1.5 in the bank. Who would you recommend bringing in and for whom up front? It's got to be Calvert-Lewin, hasn't it? Maybe you could actually. No, you don't want to take your hits. But I was going to say you could actually swap Mitrovic and Che Adams for Calvert-Lewin and Wilson. I think with the fixtures I would go Calvert-Lewin. I think James Rodriguez is such a big buy. For which one? Maybe Mitrovic, just about. I think. Yeah, but I think you don't have to go too crazy. I think Calvert-Lewin's where I would go. But I've already got him, right? So I'm bound to say that. What City players am I bringing in? Just one. Aubameyang to De Bruyne, probably. Maybe Sterling. Ideally, what I want to happen is Aguero, Sterling, De Bruyne all on the pitch. And then Man City get a penalty against Wolves, which is saved because I want my double clean sheet. Or my one clean sheet, sorry. And then we'll see who gets the penalties. Like if Aguero and Sterling are on the pitch and De Bruyne takes it, perfect. I'm getting De Bruyne. If not, I kind of fancy Sterling. By the way, just for that last super chat, of course you don't have to get rid of either of them. But if you really want to make a transfer, I get Calvert-Lewin. Mitrovic, is he going to be good long term? We don't know yet. I think if you've got him, you just keep him, right? Who am I least happy with in my team? Probably St. Maximin or Adams. I think Calvert-Lewin, the Chelsea boys, Aubameyang, Salah, probably fine. I'm not going to be happy with Vinagre or Saiss if one of them's benched. So I might look at getting rid of them. But ultimately, Adams and St. Maximin. But they're cheap, so I shouldn't be expecting the world from them. Greenwood versus James Rodriguez seems to be the big decision. I'd go James, I think. I'll go James. Some set pieces, very creative, good fixtures, looking like they're going to be a good team. And Greenwood, like if Sancho comes in, he's not an option anymore, is he? Like, and that is looking kind of likely. Am I keeping Adams against Spurs? Yes, because these are the comments that wind me up the most. When you look at a team, you're like, how are you keeping that player? Is if you've got a limited amount of transfer that you can use every week. I'm keeping Adams because it's been 1 week and he nearly scored. And he's got West Brom soon. Doesn't mean I'm definitely going to keep him beyond that, but no need to like knee-jerk these players out just yet because of one blank. So you trust Che Adams more than Mitrovic going forward. I mean, ultimately, yes, because I went for Adams in the end, but I don't think that Mitrovic is a bad pick necessarily. I mean, at the end of the day, Fulham caused Arsenal a couple of problems, not a huge amount, and had Mitrovic been on the pitch, maybe it would have been a bit different. Can we do Glenn, thanks very much. Can we do a 1 minute of silence for all the sheep who went with Trent? Come on. Trent is not a sheep pick. It's absolutely ridiculous. They did target him, though. I saw a lot of kind of tweets and stuff about how Leeds really targeted him and Robertson to a certain extent, which limited their creativity. Not every team's going to do that. Trent is still a great pick. But remember, this happened last year. People doubled up on Trent and Robertson or Van Dijk. I did the same. I had Robertson and Van Dijk. They hardly kept any clean sheets. And then by the end of the season, they were still amazing. So you've got to stand your ground if you've got these players in, I think. Southampton lucky not to score. Absolutely. We're not bringing any Leeds boys in. For me, in Game Week 2, it would take something big for me to have to make a transfer. Don't get me wrong. Not ideal having to play a Wolves defender against Man City, but I knew that in Game Week 1. I'm deleting any questions that are basically spammy. So I think you put Greenwood in like a million times. I'm being very... I'm muting people much quicker this season. Any comments that are just like laughing at a certain player, gone. Just gone. I can't bother with it this year. First weekend, we're not in a contest without Salah as captain. It's the second season in a row I've got my opening captain wrong, but still got a captain score. So last year, I captained Salah, and Sterling went and got a hat-trick. This year, I captained Aubameyang, and Salah goes against a hat-trick. So frustrating. But, I mean, some people like, he's at home to Leeds. Yeah, fair enough, but it's 2 penalties. Aubameyang and Salah scored the same amount of open goals, and it was just 2 penalties. So I don't know if it was that bad a decision. But at the same time, I remember I kept saying, yes, it's Leeds, but it's a newly promoted side. And I tell you what, Salah, take away the goals, and I know their expected goals, non-penalty, were very close to Mane and Salah, but take away the goals, Salah looks so sharp, right from like from minute 1. I thought Mane was bad. I don't know. Let me know what you think about Mane. I thought he was pretty bad. There was a couple of times where Salah passed to him, he just couldn't get the ball out of his feet. He kind of stopped a few attacks. He just wasn't on it, which is so interesting because everyone was saying pre-season Mane looks so sharp, Salah just looks completely off it. And I didn't watch any of Liverpool's games pre-season, but that's what I kept hearing. But in that first game, Salah was on it. Like, I know not many of them were on target, but he had 9 shots, 8 of them in the box. But that is the Salah we love, basically. But I was not impressed with Mane at all. But the thing is with these players, it's not like, you go into the next game against Chelsea, Mane's going to be up against who? Like Reece James maybe Azpilicueta. He could be amazing. Stephen, how's it going? You got 1.5 in the bank, set aside for Son to Fernandes. As crazy as it sounds, you thought of Salah to Fernandes for the next 2 weeks. I think a lot of it depends who you want to captain in Game Week 3, because Salah's playing Arsenal. It's maybe not the worst fixture to captain him in. The thing with taking out Salah is, right, if you want to do this upside chasing, then you should go for it, absolutely. I'm not trying to talk anyone out of it, but if you're going to take him out to bring him back in a few weeks, that's 2 transfers to take out someone that can score against anyone. And I do fully get that it is much more difficult against Chelsea and maybe even Arsenal. I'm still, I still won't captain him against a top 6 side probably, but you're using 2 transfers to get rid of him and bring him back in quick timing when he plays Arsenal at home, Sheffield United at home in Game Week 6. I think it's Villa away, is it in Game Week 5 or something like that? They're not bad. It's not like he's never going to score away either. I don't know. For me, if you got the money in the bank, I would just do Son to. I know Son's got better fixtures over the next couple, but I think I would just keep Salah. Sorry. Ryan, thanks very much. Captain Mane had a mare. Right now you've got triple Everton already. James, Calvert-Lewin and Digne. I love it. Thoughts about a punt on Aguero? Again, I just don't think Man City players need to come in this week against Wolves. I mean, do we even know that Aguero is like fully fit and ready to play? Not for me, I don't think. Should you use a wild card? Probably not. I mean, you could do, but it's very unlikely you really need it. If you haven't already, by the way, please do hit that like button. There's 4,000 of you watching, which is crazy for a Sunday evening. So make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. And please do subscribe as well. Trying to hit 100,000 subscribers. We are on 97,624. I reckon if everyone watching who wasn't subscribed hit that button, we could hit 98,000 in the next few minutes. So if you haven't already, please do go and check. Hit that subscribe button. Be much appreciated as always. And while I'm doing those shout outs as well, shout out to all the patrons who have signed up and supported the channel. All on screen right now. If you want to check it out, links in the description below. I've also opened up another 10 spots on the top tier for now, because I'm basically going to keep opening it little by little just to see how well I can manage it, essentially. Don't want to open it up to loads of people and then be stuck and not able to get back to people. So I've opened up a few of them. But if you want extra content, there's going to be 2 Q&As, one at the start of the week, one at the end of the week. You can get your questions in on Slack and stuff like that. Make sure you do. So thanks to everyone that signed up. Obviously, we've got a few spare slots on the third wall now. And if you do want to sign up, make sure you do it. Hit that subscribe button. Go on. Do it. Call me Kneejerk. I've done Mitrovic to Calvert-Lewin. I can't fault anyone for going Calvert-Lewin. You know, he's the best striker in the league. There was only one good England number 9 on the pitch today. Could Cancelo be City's left back? I mean, he could be, but they've got so many options. You just don't know. Like, Man City's attack is so good. Sometimes you take the risk of rotation, but in defence, I can't really buy into it. If you're not sure about someone playing week in, week out, I just don't see the point. Let me see. What about Ali price drop? I mean, yeah, he might drop in price. If you really need the money, then go for it. Yeah, I'll change the goalkeeper. I've got Steer because he's playing Sheffield United, but chances are Martinez is going to be in now. 4.5 million. Does make Aston Villa's defence even stronger, by the way. I'm really interested to see how Aston Villa do, because post-lockdown they were quite good defensively, but for the rest of the season they were awful. And obviously we've seen some of the stuff that happened post-lockdown has not translated into, opening game week. So if they're no good still, we could target them. But obviously Martinez is going to be a big help, I think. Aubameyang looked tired, that yellow card because of laziness. But he also could have scored another goal quite easily, and then we'd have 2 goals and we wouldn't even be worried about him. He's going to get a week off now, isn't he? I know some teams have got fixtures during the week, but yeah, I think he'll be fine. What team do I support? Man United. Does it influence my decisions? Yes, sometimes. But I'm trying to stay strong. I don't think I necessarily need Man United players right now, so I'm not going for them. But maybe, just maybe, that would be a mistake. Wilson, Wilson looked match sharp, match ready straight away. I don't know if he's had a bit of a pre-season. Maybe he has. But yeah, I was quite impressed with it. It's exactly what Newcastle need, right? Gutted Saka didn't play. That's what we were saying on the deadline stream. Though Saka and Nketiah, they're just risks. Like, it's all well and good that William played, and he was really good. Maybe he will be the number 1 on that right spot throughout the whole week. Throughout the whole season. But ultimately, Saka or Pepe could come in there and play at some point. Arteta might try and do a bit of a pep, mix it around a little bit, depending on the opposition. Thoughts about Ayling? Yeah, impressed. I'm going to try and not go through too many questions we've already answered. But Ayling, yeah, I was quite impressed. I like him. Is the price of Bruno Fernandes going to hike in game week 3? Not necessarily. I'm not sure the price is going to go up massively of Man United and Man City players. If he smashes it against Palace, then maybe he will go up. But I don't think it's going to be huge. Why do people freak out after game week 1? Because that's just FPL, isn't it? Glenn, how's it going? What does your current point page look like? I'm 65 points with 5 players left to play. Havertz, Pulisic and Werner included. Very nice. I had it up at the start, so I'm on 50 points. With 4 to play as well. No, 4 to play, sorry, instead of your 5. Pulisic, Werner, Seiss and Vinagre. So there we go, back to it. I'll put my team back on. Very warm in here. You triple captain Salah. Very nice if you did. Thoughts on Richarlison? If you've already got Richarlison, I think you keep him. I thought he was good, but if I was buying a forward, I would probably just go for Calvert-Lewin and save the money. But if you've already got Richarlison, I would definitely keep him. Excuse me, sorry. Is Greenwood available? Yeah, he should be. Although he hasn't been training with the first team, I don't think, because I think he had to isolate. So let's see what Solskjaer says, I guess, about whether he's available. What's a good target score for the game week? You always want to be just above the average, basically. I think is always good. What you don't need is like a massive score where you're like top 1,000 for the game week. It doesn't matter, really. If you get like a consistent top million game week rank, you're usually okay. In the first game week, I won't worry about it so much, though. Can you change your team without getting rid of points now? You can make one transfer. That's it. Would I be happy with 50 points in total from game week 1? Depends what the average is. Like right now I'm on 50, so if I ended on 50, I'd be pretty annoyed with 4 players left. Like realistic score, like I don't know if Saiss and Vinagre are really going to get a clean sheet. So hopefully, if I get like, I don't know, 4 from them, what's that, 54? And a goal and assist combo between the other two. I don't know, 65 points or even 70 would be nice this week. Drew, you've got Zaha in. Should you look to replace him? Why would you replace him? You've got him in. He scored. Could have scored a couple more. Why would you get rid of him? Should we be concerned about Liverpool's defence? I thought, this is going to be a big word for me, but I thought Van Dijk was a bit nonchalant at times. I wouldn't worry just yet. They got pressed quite heavily by Leeds, which is their style. So that didn't help. And obviously, we know they've got Chelsea and Arsenal next too, but we knew that already. So yeah, I wouldn't be panicking just yet. Very similar to what happened last year. Van Dijk got his goal for corner. Robertson also got... I don't think Robertson got an assist last year, but they conceded. You know, there was attack and returns. We move on. At some point during the season, they get a lot of clean sheets. What does that asterisk next to Salah mean? I think it just means he's in the dream team. Let's see what else we got. Any temptation of Martial? Not really. I'd have to get rid of Werner. I mean, I've not even seen Werner play yet, right? So there's no point in worrying about him just yet. Let's see him play. I thought there was something about Sancho then. Maybe he'd signed. Twitter will go nuts when he signs. Do-do-do-do. Need a Hudson-Odoi miracle. I mean, I'm hoping Hudson-Odoi doesn't even play because I want Pulisic to play. Okay, let's see if we've got any other stuff we haven't already answered. Don't forget, if you haven't already, my voice is going. Make sure. Hang on, what's going on here? Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. There's 4,000 people watching. We're on 902 likes. Let's get to 1,000 likes before the stream is over. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. It'd be awesome to get to 98,000 by the end of this stream. And maybe we can push for 100,000 by Game Week 2 deadline. I'll do a 100,000 Q&A video or something. Nathan, how's it going? Mitrovic or Watkins? I still think Mitrovic for now. But Watkins maybe for the future. And he's made Niles good for 5 million. He could be if he keeps starting. I think the next fixture is good for an Arsenal clean sheet. But after that, I'm not sure I'd want them, to be honest. Calvert-Lewin with a winner. Exactly. Vinagre. Yeah, I mean, who else do I play though? Saiss or Mitchell? Got to play the one that I think is the most attacking. 4 players in 1 fixture next week. Yeah, it happens. Hopefully it's another 5-3. That'd be amazing. A couple of assists for Trent, a couple of goals for Salah. Pulisic and Werner score 5 between them. Job done. Antonio or Mitrovic out for Calvert-Lewin, or take a hit and both out. I don't think you need to take hits. I mean, Antonio's probably the one because of the fixtures in the short term. They're not great. Not to say he can't score against Arsenal, but overall they're not that great, to be honest. In terms of prices, if you want to go and check them yourself, you can use a site called fplstatistics.co.uk. I'll put it in the chat. Statistics.co.uk. FPL Statistics. That will let you... Well, it's not got a hyperlink. that will let you check price rises and falls. So basically, when they get to 100, when they get near 100%, like especially for drops, like 80, 90, for drops around 80%, and they could drop. For price rises, they've got to get pretty close to 100 before they rise. But I will say this: at the start of the season, those sites are much more inaccurate because they have to look about how FPL kind of put in prices up and down. So take it with a pinch of salt at the start of the season. If it says like a player's 70 or 80% to rise, and you're worried about it, that's the time to probably move this early in the season. But if you can, I would always wait till Friday, Saturday to get the most info available and then make your move. That's always going to be the way to do it properly. Wolves clean sheet tomorrow, fingers crossed. What other games did we not talk about? Or any teams? We kind of talked about all of them, I think. West Ham were awful. West Brom were pretty bad. Leicester did okay. Vardy not great, still got 2 penalties. I think we kind of covered most of it. I think I'm going to leave it there. 50 minutes. I think that's good. I think we cover most stuff. I'll be back with a watch list video tomorrow. Team selection on Tuesday. Game week preview on Wednesday. Another stream on Thursday. So if anything major happens tomorrow, I'll be talking about it. Thanks very much for watching. If you haven't already, please do hit that like button. I think we're already over 1,000, but keep on hitting it. And subscribe if you're new around here because I want to get to 98,000 tonight. We're 200 off 98,000. Just if you haven't already, just after the stream, go and hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. Hit that notification bell, and you'll know when I'm going live and putting up videos in the future. But yeah, I think we've kind of discussed most things that we're going to discuss in this stream. And plus, I want to kind of keep it short as well. There's no point in carrying on going over and over stuff for the same time. Can you put this on YouTube? Yeah, it'll automatically be on YouTube as soon as I stop streaming, so you can watch it back. But I think we covered most stuff about most players. I'm not going live tomorrow. So basically, live stream Sunday, watch list Monday, team selection Tuesday, game week preview Wednesday, stream Thursday, stream Saturday, and Friday's day off. Well, on Friday I do. If you want to check out Patreon, there's a link in the description below. Make sure you go and check that out. There's loads of good stuff over there. There's a great Slack channel. The community in there is just great, and also there's extra content. So there's Q&As on Friday, especially once all the information's come in from press conferences. We do a Q&A, and it goes out on Patreon. So there's a little bit of exclusive content over there, and obviously it's a way you can support me if you want to support the channel further. You can watch it grow and grow and grow even more. That is the aim. Become huge and all that stuff. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Lots to go through. Just remember, don't knee-jerk too heavily. It's just game week 1. Things could all change next week. Maybe Spurs will look like absolute world beaters, and we won't be too worried about them all. I'll catch you later. Thanks very much for watching. Like and subscribe. Please do that. Let's get to 100k soon, and I'll catch you again soon.